Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Brian Speaks On. I am Brian, creator and moderator of the Brian Speaks On channel on YouTube. You can also find the Brian Speaks On Facebook page of the same name on Facebook. It's been a while. Plenty of things going down, big things happening, as they like to say. And yeah, definitely felt the need to make another video. It's been, like I said, it's been a while. Just life happening, nothing crazy. Well, nothing crazy in the scheme of everything that's been happening. That's been pretty crazy. Now, y'all know me. I do like to talk about hot button topics, but what I do like to try to introduce is another angle of perspective within said hot topic. Something that may not be, something that may not be something that's being spoken on out loud or, in the forefront. And I think, I wanted to introduce something. I wanted to do it before, this guy became the president and started his current, this current spiral of the apocalypse, I guess we could call it. But I wanted to do something before, which was like kind of like a prognostication segment, where we just kind of throw things out there and predict where things are going to go. Me being a cynical person, I didn't have high hopes for things in the near future or further down the line either. And I'm not just saying that just because Trump is president. I had the same kind of cynical viewpoint regardless of either person, So this is not me speaking as, a bleeding heart liberal or a neo-liberal Democrat, anything like that. I really don't represent either, So for me, I have no horse in this game, in this race, so to speak. I see both as the same. I see both, using different methods to accomplish the same goal. It's always been what it is. The ultimate goal is capitalism, no matter what. And both sides play to that. One just plays to it in a much more drastic and probably self-destructive manner than the other. The other one would rather keep you asleep, and kind of like keep you asleep and take advantage of you while you're asleep. The other one would rather just not even really care if you're asleep or woke. They'll just, stick you either way. But anyway, I wanted to get into like some kind, into predictions basically. And the one thing that you always have to understand with these administrations and with these regimes or what have you is that they, like I said, they want to accomplish the same thing. They just want to go about it in two different ways. But the strategy is more or less the same at its core. They want to keep certain things going, and in order to do that, they have to implement certain strategies to get to said goals. The thing you always have to remember when you see this charade, when you see this game on TV and in the media and stuff like that, is that you first have to recognize that this is a game. It's a sad game. It's kind of like remember that old movie The Running Man with Schwarzenegger, where you were watching the game but people were really dying. This is like the real life version, only we're talking about innocent civilians and people just getting pretty much treated like pawns on a chessboard. And that chess metaphor is very apropos when it comes to what goes on with these governments and with these administrations. Is the thing you have to always remember when you see something happening, like what's going on right now with this supposed temporary Muslim ban, temporary. They want you to focus on the move that's right in front of you, the move that they just made. But when you think about what chess is about making a move with another move further on down the line in mind. The move that is being made right in front of you is created as a strategy to manipulate circumstances to go in a certain direction. They make a move, and then they anticipate you making a counter move to the move that you just made, which really sets up the move that they want to make later on. So people like me are looking at, what's the fourth move down the line? Okay, you did this completely unnecessary and provocative thing to get people's attentions, to get people all riled up and huffy, and everybody's all worked up now and protesting and taking to the streets and doing things that they should do. You should not be apathetic to the move that was made. But that move was made for another purpose down the line. You could say a lot of things about this guy, and Lord knows I do. One thing I don't say about this guy is that he is stupid. And the thing that makes it scary now is that he has people strategizing, professional strategists now, to back him up. This guy doesn't have any self-control, and if you left him to his own devices, he would eventually self-sabotage himself and basically destroy himself. Now you have these professional strategists and warmongers to manipulate certain things to go in a certain direction. Now, again, let's look at this ban. It focuses on 7 Muslim nations, and which of these nations stand to really, really play a long-term factor into this situation? And where I'm going with this is that, before I even give you my guess as to what that is, going back to the whole strategy element, this country has a history of doing things in a particular way to get to a certain point, like I said. And they use 4 common elements all the time. Not all, well, for the majority of the time, especially in the modern era. They play with their nationalism because everybody wants to be patriotic, and they toy with that. They toy with the American sense of patriotism and nationalism and love for their country and so on and so forth. So they manipulate that. They introduce a villain to you. A villain that's normally a terrorist. And then with said villain, they create a war. They give you a bad guy, they give you a boogeyman, and then they give you a justification as to why we have to go and eradicate said boogeyman. This is a formula that's been well documented in American history as being used over and over and over again. I don't want to get into specific examples because y'all know how I like to talk, and I don't want to make this too long. But we're doing the same thing all over again. They want to give you a straw man, and then they want to give you a justification of why we have to go and attack them now. And in my opinion, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But a lot of what I've been thinking to myself has thus far been pretty much spot on as to what's been happening out here. My guess as to who's going to be the next straw man is going to be Iran. Because of this ban, according to Democracy Now!, which I had just listened to earlier today, the country that's been kind of most violated by this ban has been the Iranian people. You have to remember this entire Congress that's running everything now, along with its president, they don't like Iran. They didn't like the nuclear deal that Obama worked out with Iran. They kept trying to sabotage the nuclear deal with Iran. But when those attempts at sabotage failed, then you move to you move to plan B and plan C and plan D and what have you. Now that they have the reins and they're in control, They don't have to worry about being stopped in their plan, their ultimate goal. But what they do need to do now is create a situation of justification. So what they're doing, I believe, is that they are basically just provoking. They're prodding, they're poking to see who really flips out and creates a countermeasure. If the Iranian people get pissed off enough, they will renege on their side of the nuclear arms deal. And then they'll start pursuing, having nuclear capabilities again, which will in turn give these neo-Republicans their justification to start maybe not declaring outright war initially, but we will start ratcheting up the rhetoric and the threats, and the media and all the propagandizers will start pumping up, the American patriotism clause, juicing everybody up to be, self-righteous patriots again. Next thing you know, you'll be turning on TNT and TBS, and they'll have Rocky IV marathons and Captain America marathons and all this other stuff. And you'll be wondering why all of a sudden you hate Iran so much, but you don't even care anymore. Because they're going to get nukes and they're going to blow us up. So we got to blow them up first. And therein lies your straw man. Therein lies the end game, which is war. Which is what these regimes always seem to want. For some reason, war makes money. And again, this is all about capitalism. If I'm not mistaken, and feel free to correct me, Iran is one of the few countries, I think it's like 3 or 4 now. Well, it used to be 7. Is one of these countries that are not controlled by the centralized banking system. So that's another aspect that certain people in certain circles talk about, and certain people that know about that situation, y'all know what I'm talking about. They're not in with the Rothschilds, so to speak. Let's just say that Iran is one of those nations, and again, if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me on that. But from as I remember it, as I recall, they're one of those nations. So they have different axes to grind with Iran, and they have different reasons for wanting to just completely annihilate them on that level. And again, I think Iran is being set up as the next straw man. Same way Iraq was before, Afghanistan. Again, I don't want to go too far back in history, but if you seek the information out, it's there. You will see that this is what they do. They ratchet up the nationalism. They make them look like terrorists. They make them into the villain that needs to be eradicated. And then there you go. The war machine. Now they got to justify that. You got to justify that budget. That budget that keeps ever increasing under every president, even Obama. So they got to justify these budgets, So I think that's where I think this is where it's leading, and this prognostication is kind of like the best case scenario. I'm not even trying to include other nations in this, like North Korea, people that might join forces with Iran. It's these things. This is such a powder keg. It's such a sensitive situation. People did not think about these types of things when they went to vote. God knows what people think about when they vote. God knows if people think at all. But it was something I think people so seriously underestimated, because people were so concerned about what was going to happen in this country and what the president was going to do. The president really can't do much as it involves national affairs, because you have state governments that run their states. You have a Senate, you have a House of Representatives. If they're not cool with what the president's ideals are, then he can't do nothing. But the things that the president does have control over are things that involve foreign affairs. That's where your president is supposed to come through for you, you know. And you hired this guy. Yeah. Didn't think this one through. And in all your patriotism and thinking that, this country is basically the real life version of G.I. Joe, you just figured, you know what, he's gonna just tell people what it is, and they're just gonna bend over or kneel down and say, we're not worthy. Oh yeah, big bad America, so sorry, and basically just be like Cringer, and cower to us, I should say. It's not gonna really go down that way. Like I said, I really hope that I'm wrong, but this is my prognostication. If anyone has their own predictions of what this is going to be like or where things are going, I welcome your theories. I welcome your, and what your theories are based on. What information you may have going on that supports it, or if it's just a gut feeling. I mean, we might as well just start our think tanks now and start getting ready, because something is coming. You don't just do what he just did for no general reason. This was to provoke something further along down the line. Don't get it twisted. Don't look nearsighted. Don't be nearsighted about this. You have to look beyond the pawn move. You have to look at, where's the knight, where's the rook. Something is coming. This is chess. These people just don't do these things just because. So, man, oh man. If you're a praying person, please get to praying. That's all I can say. And yeah, God bless us all, because we all gonna need some God. We're gonna need some intervention somewhere along the line. Man, oh man. But that's me right now, and I wish us all well. I wish us all luck out here, and keep on fighting the fight. Fight with a strategy, fight with a purpose. Don't just run out here all crazy, and don't be all full of sound and fury and signifying nothing. If you're gonna fight with a purpose, fight with a strategy, and good luck out there with all of us in the fight, in the struggle. Peace out. Blessings to all.